So now I'm going to go ahead and break down one of my max protect setups. And once again, this is out of the play slot shake. What we're going to do is we're going to max protect. We are going to drag the outside receiver that is not on the shallow post. And then we're going to streak the slot receiver. You can either streak or fade him. It doesn't really matter. But basically, what you're doing is you have the drag coming underneath, and you have the post going over the top. And what you're doing is very similar to what the main meta offenses were last year at a bunch, where you have the drag underneath to force your opponent to play underneath, and then you have the post over top. This is a common staple in formations like bunch. So that's basically what I was recreating with this setup. Is I have a tight end blocking on the right, the running back blocking on the left. I have the drag as the shallow read to force my opponent to sit underneath. And then I have the deeper post that's going to get open against pretty much anything. The post route does get open, as I mentioned in the last video, it gets open against mid reads. And since we are streaking the slot receiver, any deep zone, like a middle linebacker in a deep blue, is not going to play it. So really it's going to force our opponent to either pick and choose or to have a 3-rec on the field. Now, as I mentioned, this formation pretty much destroys everything out there besides crossfire defenses. Crossfire defenses force you to hit the flats, and I do have a setup for that, but setups like this where you're max protecting, where you're streaking a player, you're kind of at the mercy of that 3-rec. A good opponent that knows how to control the 3-rec, knows how to tell it to play up top, underneath, they are able to make adjustments and slow this offense down. But if you're playing a player that sits in DB fire or sits in the Tampa 2 at a 3-3-5, this formation is really going to be a problem because you have setups like this where you're max protecting, so they're not going to be able to get any sort of pressure, and then you essentially have 2 routes that your opponent is going to have to manually guard. This setup right here is extremely easy to run just because the pressure is not really going to get in on you. And then the depth between the post and the drag route is so drastic, it's going to be borderline impossible to bait you into a bad read.